Hello, my name is Dmytro Chaplynskyi, and together with my co-author Mariana Romanyshyn, I would like to present you our new paper introducing NER-UK 2.0, a rich corpus of named entities for Ukrainian. Named entity recognition, as you might know, is a task in natural language processing that allows to analyze raw texts and to identify entities like locations, persons, organizations, etc. The second version of that corpus was created to improve named entity recognition for Ukrainian language, and I will give you a brief history of that corpus. Corpus size as of version 2.0 is 560 texts from various genres, and it contains almost 22,000 of annotated entities. But first, let's start with a little bit of a history. NER-UK 1.0 was released in 2016, and it was built on top of the Brook corpus. Brook corpus was created by the team of Vasil Starko, and it covers multiple genres such as press, religious texts, fictions, poetry, and it was also annotated for the POS. Back then, the corpus had just 4 texts: person, location, organization, and MISC, and had around 7,500 entities. And we trained some models, and also we saw that corpus is being used by various scholars around the world to evaluate pre-trained large language models like Roberto Large. So we decided that this was a good idea, but now we need to do something different. Let's expand that. Let's create a new corpus which will have a permissive license and which will have more texts and more tags. So for 2.0 version, we picked the annotation scheme which has 13 tags. In addition to location, persons, and organizations, we also added tags like artifact, so for example Mona Lisa, document, job title, money, period, time, quantity, percentage, and MISC. Also, to enrich the corpus with new text, we decided to pick another subcorpora. So now the NER-UK corpus contains 2 subcorpora: Brook corpus as before, and corpus from Nashi Groshi. Nashi Groshi is basically a Ukrainian news outlet which focuses on economic and anti-corruption effort. So for this one, it has much more entities, especially for this new text that we introduced. You can see the comparison of these 2 subcorpora on a slide, but the key takeaway is that Nashi Groshi contains shorter texts, but it has much more entities, so 16 per 100 of words compared to 4 per 100 of words. To create that corpus, we basically started with our existing model, which allowed us to pre-annotate the texts, and then we managed to create a team of annotators and picked an editor and loaded the texts into our software, which allows different people to annotate different tasks, and then editor can export them, compare them, and fix the discrepancies. Then we created a document with a methodology to make the life of annotators and the editor easier. So this document describes how do you annotate each type of the entity, contains the examples, explanations, and corner cases. And while we was working on that with a team of annotators, we've been updating this document with strange and special corner cases, analyzing each and every of them. Because of that document, which is also like a part of the paper and it's published together with the data, we've reached the quite good inter-annotator agreement. And basically each and every text that was annotated was processed by at least 2 annotators, and then editor took place. So he compared the discrepancies between annotators and fixed them. The annotation process was complete and editor did his job. We took all the files and ran a bunch of automated tests to see if there are still any discrepancies or misalignments, and we manually fixed roughly 15 tags, I believe. Then we created a new dev test split and trained a new baseline model using Roberta Large for Ukrainian. As you can see on the slide below, it has very similar comparison to the previous state-of-the-art model, except for the miscellaneous tag. This can be explained because previously miscellaneous tag was a tag for everything, like, you know, Mona Lisa, I don't know, Vanity Fair, whatever. And now we have different tags for these kind of entities. But this new corpus also has 9 more entities. Together with the paper, we release all the files, the methodology translated in English and Ukrainian, the raw texts, the annotations, the dev test split, the model we trained, and the scripts which can be used to reproduce this effort for any other language. And as a word of conclusion, NER-UK 2.0 is currently, to our knowledge, the largest manually annotated NER corpus, and it has a very wide text set, which makes it useful for very different tasks. For example, because it has entities like document number, money, periods, percents, etc., one can use this corpus to build a pipeline to analyze raw texts of the procurements and help with Ukrainian anti-corruption effort. Also, this corpus provides available data to develop and evaluate new NER models or new large language models. So, for example, if you trained a new large language model on top of Roberta, you can check how well it performs on the NER task. And for the future work, we are planning to fine-tune more large language models on this corpus and address some limitations, such as bias or infrequently used entities. And this is all I have for today, and on this slide you can see how you can download our models, scripts and data, and how to contact us. Thank you very much for your attention.